Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of Wednesday Night Madness here on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Google MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio. We are awaiting the arrival of Michael Bullock. If he shows up, great. If he doesn't, then we will see him tomorrow night for a very special edition of the Talkin' Wrestling TXN as we preview NXT Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania. We will let you know a few things about that later on in the evening. So we'll give you a heads up on what's going down tomorrow on that. So first off, as always, we got NXT 2.0, and then we will follow that by tonight's AEW Dynamite. So we started it off with a six-man tag team matchup as it was Imperium. Matthew Bartel, Fabian Eichner, and Gunther. They went up against MSK, Wes Lee, and Nash Carter, and LA Knight. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 12 minutes and 11 seconds was Imperium. This was an excellent match. Very good match to start it off. Easily for me, one of the top fights of the night. And 3.5 stars is my rating for the match. I thought the body of work of everybody was incredible. I thought the action was hard-hitting and very good. There's really nothing more to add. So, Anthony Florio, very good way to start the show. Florio? Uh-oh. Maybe he might, because of the slow computer, maybe it's muted. His mic just can't get unmuted. All right. That's a bit unfortunate to start the show like that. All right. So hopefully Anthony can get his mic situated, and we'll just continue on. Next up, we had was Ivy Nile going up against Tiffany Stratton. And Ivy Nile won the match in 3 minutes and 32 seconds. Uh, Look, it was all right. I don't think it was really anything to write home about here. It was okay, but I could give this maybe a quarter to a half a star, and I'm being really generous with that. Oh, there you go, Anthony. It's all
Yes,
yours.
sir. I'm here.
All right.
What did I miss? What did I miss?
You missed our opening matchup, which was the six-man tag between Imperium, MSK, and LA Knight, where Imperium won the match in 12 minutes and 11 seconds.
Great jump off. 3.5, 3 3/4 of a star. I thought this was an excellent match. No better way to start off a go-home show than with that. I mean, you want to get the crowd hyped for a stand and deliver show. That's how you do it, man. I mean, that was a fantastic show. No question about it. Just give me 1 second here. Solid opener. I mean, Knight's charisma got the crowd going, while MSK and Imperium drove the speed of the match up whenever they were involved. Gunther didn't really do much here, but that only left more for the match to come with LA Knight. And then from there, Imperium needed to win here as the established trio, regardless of the result, at Stand and Deliver. NXT Tag Team Champions have been quality guides for the tag team division, who will likely pass the torch to the Creed brothers shortly. I took down some notable takeaways from this match, and they are as follows. Lee caught Bartel in an adverted face lock to set up Carter to drop kick him in the face. Carter caught Bartel and Eichner with a running somersault plancha. Awesome. But as Lee looked to follow outside, Gunther planted him with a big boot, and LA Knight caught the hot tag, knocking Gunther off the apron and throwing around Bartel. Fantastic match, like I said. 3.5, 3 3/4 of a star. And what else did I miss? MF hit me with it.
The other one you don't really need to talk about,
Okay.
as the second one was Ivy Nile versus Tiffany Stratton. Ivy Nile won the match in 3 minutes and 32 seconds. I didn't really go too much into this So we're just gonna blow by this one. Then after that, a lot of promo stuff, but we did get our next match of the evening as it was Brooks Jansen and Josh Briggs. They went up against members of Legado del Fantasma, Joaquin Wilde, Raul Mendoza, and when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 5 minutes and 36 seconds was Jansen and Briggs. They get the big win. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Big win for Brooks and Jensen. Major upset. I did not think they were going to take Legado del Fantasma, but they did. 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star. Fun tag team match from start to finish. Legado del Fantasma impressed often with what they can do in the ring, and this was no different. Joaquin Wilde, for me, especially stood out in this match. It's a shame they took a clean loss, but their time in the title scene has likely passed. Briggs and Jensen are finding their stride, going from underdogs to genuine contenders. Raul Mendoza, a couple of and some key notes from this match that I feel need to be addressed. Raul Mendoza sent Brooks Jensen to the floor with a baseball slide, followed by an impressive delayed elbow drop off the steel post from Wilde. And then Josh Briggs got the hot tag, planting Mendoza with a side slam, and Wilde with a big boot and backbreaker. With a little more time, it would have been just as good as that opening match, which I gave 3.5 to 3 3/4 to. But in this case, I can only give it 2.5 to 2 3/4. It's those three little words that we always like to say, MF, when it comes to matches like this. Fun little sprint. Agreed?
Absolutely agreed on that one. Fun little sprint. Solid for what it was worth. And yeah, there's really nothing more to add there. Then after that, we had a promo segment by Toxic Attraction. We need to get into this one because of the fact that Dakota Kai came out. Wendy Cho got jumped. So Wendy Cho was taken out and Dakota Kai was left partnerless. Oh, so we thought. Let's just say we had a reuniting of one of the most dominant tag teams in NXT. Oh, by the way, we're talking about the inaugural NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. They're reuniting, and it looks like now Kai and Gonzalez might be going after Toxic Attraction at Stand and Deliver for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. I don't know, Anthony. I got a feeling history's about to be made in Dallas. I think JC Jane and
Gigi Dolan and JC Jane
might be kissing those belts goodbye.
I 100% agree with you, MF. I mean, this was a fantastic segment here. Well, it was cool to see Kai and Gonzalez together again. It looked like NXT would only have one women's match at Stand and Deliver, but now it's set up a tag title match worthy of the moment, bringing back the inaugural champions. This show is shaping up to be the end of an NXT era. It could well be the last time Tommaso Ciampa, Raquel Gonzalez, and Dakota Kai are in an NXT ring, and they will all go out with a bang. Notable takeaways: Toxic Attraction continue to talk a big game as though they have defended their titles against many top performers, yet the stable have combined for just 3 defenses in 5 months. And while Kai and Gonzalez were hesitant at first, Kai eventually jumped into her former friend's arms before the two grabbed the Women's Tag Team Championships. So this is an agree to disagree. I mean, they're definitely going to be the favorites going in, but I think there's a good chance maybe we could see one or both of them on the main roster, and for that to happen, they would have to lose. So
yeah, true.
I mean, I would love to see them win. I mean, it would be an amazing moment, but I don't know. I'm out to lunch on that one.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I don't have much time. I only have 24 hours to think about it. So
yeah, you do.
But don't worry, I'll have an answer tomorrow. You can bet on that.
All right. With that said, we're moving right on along. Next up, we had was Von Wagner goes up against Bohai Hayward. Of course, this was Von Wagner winning in 3 minutes 42 seconds. We don't really need to talk about that one. Then we had Joe Gacy versus Draco Anthony. Joe Gacy wins in 3:57. And then a promo segment by Braun Breaker. Uh, 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 Nikita Lyons versus Sloane Jacobs. Nikita Lyons wins in minute 47. Then let's see. Then we had ourselves. Okay, this one is our main event. It was. This is the last chance match. So basically, it was A-Kick, Roderick Strong, and Cameron Grimes, and the winner will secure the final spot in the ladder match for the North American Championship at Stand and Deliver. Winner of the bout, 10 minutes and 55 seconds, and going straight to the moon of Dallas, Texas, Cameron Grimes secures the final spot in the ladder match. Anthony Florio, well, Cameron gets the moment. He gets to represent and be in the ladder match.
Fight of the night for me, 4 stars, teetering on 4.25, but it was more 4 for me. Unsurprisingly, all 3 men brought everything to this match. It was exciting from start to finish, and all 3 looked close to winning throughout. The Technical Savage was the favorite, but A-Kid also got the crowd behind him as well. But the story here was Cameron Grimes. Anyone in the ladder match would make perfect sense as the next NXT North American champion, and it's hard to call a winner. It's the most unpredictable match on the card. Key takeaways, Cameron Grimes popped A-Kid up into the air, and he used that momentum to drop kick Roderick Strong. A-Kid caught Roderick Strong with a suicide dive or a tope suicida, and then Cameron Grimes caught him with a punt kick off the apron, only to be tripped on the apron by Roderick Strong. A-Kid jumped at Roderick Strong to go for an armbar, but he turned it into a powerbomb on the Grimes, and then Cameron Grimes planted Strong with a Spanish fly, but ran right into a tilt-a-whirl DDT from Kid. It's moves like this that made this match so fun to watch here. This was a solid 4 stars for me. This was the fight of the night. Although you could make an argument for the opener too. Typical NXT 2.0 formula. Great opening match, great main event. You can make an argument for either one to be the for fight of the night for this time around. So, but for me, I think this match was slightly better. So 4 for me. And MF, Cameron Grimes, you got to consider him definitely one of the favorites, I think.
You do, but I'm still going to go with Carmelo Hayes to walk out of it with still being the North American champion. Even though I think it would be too soon for him to make the run to the main roster, because the guy is still a work in progress. But without a doubt, I mean, the sooner he comes to the main roster, the better this guy's going to be. I mean, he's that big of a star. More than anything else. So, no, nothing more to add here. Anthony, you have the final say before we get into AEW.
I'm going to go 6.5 here. I mean, it was the typical formula here. Like I said, great opening match, great main event. The stuff in between, not so much. I mean, yes, we did have one newsworthy development, that being the reuniting of Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. And they will, in fact, challenge Gigi Dolan and JC Jane for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships at Stand and Deliver. And other than that, I mean, we had, some squash matches here and there. And, there were some good storyline advancement. But the stuff in the middle, still leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, it's a work in progress. I mean, it's slowly getting better, but I'm still not quite there yet. So give me 6.5 for this. But what I can tell you, MF, is Stand and Deliver. If it's anything like Halloween Havoc, War Games, New Year's Evil, or Vengeance Day, we're going to be in for something really special come Saturday afternoon. And what a great way to jump up what's going to be the most super Saturday of 2022 if you're a professional wrestling fan or a sports fan in general. I mean, the Final Four, night 1 of WrestleMania, the Super Card of Honor. I mean, what else is there to say? 6.5 for me. MF, take this part home, and then we'll get into Dynamite from the University of South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 6. I think it was all right. I don't think it's anything to write home about. So hopefully we'll get all the answers back and we'll go from there. All right, guys. So it's now time for AEW Dynamite. We started off with CM Punk versus Max Caster. Punk wins the match in 7:05. It was an all right opener. It was solid for what it was worth. I mean, this is about 2.5 to 3. I thought it was an all right. This was more of a fun little sprint more than anything else. I think this could have gone a lot more longer, but I'll go more 2.5, closer to 3. But Anthony, it's yours.
Yes, I agree with that. 2.5 to 3 stars, and Castler shined, getting his fair share of offense in on CM Punk, but in the end, it was the grizzled veteran who delivered an old school pile driver and finished the rapper with the Anaconda Vice. Key takeaways: CM Punk laughing and grinning after Caster's pre-match rap. Tony Schiavone, in reference to the rap, it said, "I wondered how long it would take to get a Will Smith reference. He didn't wait too long, did he?" Jim Ross criticized the AEW stars for not going for pins often enough in an interesting call. CM Punk channeled Ric Flair, flipping over the top rope, but unlike the legendary competitor, actually delivering the double axe handle. And CM Punk exclaimed, "Before my time in AEW is over, I will be World Heavyweight Champion," sending a message loudly and clearly to both Hangman Adam Page and Adam Cole following his win tonight. And that's really all there is to say on that. Fun little sprint. You're absolutely right. 2.5 to 3 stars. MF set me up for the next match, and I'll take it for a spin.
All right, it was Jon Moxley going one-on-one with Jay Lethal. And Jon Moxley wins the match in roughly 11 minutes. So it's yours.
3.5 stars for me. The match was fantastic. The physicality was off the charts. Jon Moxley and Jay Lethal beat the hell out of each other and managed to work in some great in-ring psychology along the way. The execution of the near falls created high drama and had the fans on the edge of their seats. We all knew Moxley would win, but there were more than a few moments when the outcome looked to be in doubt. That is a testament to the match the competitors were able to put together. A hell of a match and one of the best on Dynamite this year. No question about that. Key takeaways, of course, Jon Moxley playing mind games with Jay Lethal by putting his hands behind his back and daring him to lay a forearm to the face. The psychology surrounding Jon Moxley's injured knee was on point and made for some great callbacks throughout. The false finish that saw Lethal counter the rear naked choke was great and had fans thinking the former Ring of Honor World Champion might have pulled off the upset, but no. Solid 3.5 stars. One of the fights of the night for sure. So, man, MF, a dream matchup here. Jay Lethal and Jon Moxley. When I heard this match was going down, I was very excited, and I'm not at all surprised it lived up to my hype. What about you?
Yeah, no, it definitely lived up to the hype. It was a very solid match. I think it was a very good jump off, to say the very least. And yeah, this was a well entertaining match more than anything else. So yeah, and I'll give it about 3 stars, no doubt about that. Agreed. Next up we had was FTR. They went up against the Gun Club, and when it was all said and done, FTR wins the match in 11 minutes and 25 seconds. Another solid, good tag team matchup. Body of work of both teams was really well. Gun Club really looked a lot better than they did in previous outings because they went up against one of the best tag teams in the world today. And I think that's exactly the way that you got to say it. Overall, solid match, solid battle, and this is another 3-star match. So for me, Anthony, it's yours.
Definitely. 3.25 as well. The match itself was well wrestled, with an elite team working with a young tandem to help them grow and evolve. The interference from Billy Hurt and the arrival of Wardlow and everything that came with it overshadowed the match to an extent. Post-match confrontation between FTR and MJF proved the pinnacle, as we know it, is falling apart at the seams, one loss here or there away from disintegrating. FTR is clearly poised for a babyface turn, and the team should find incredible success in that role, given the fact that fans already respect and love them. Some takeaways from all this. MJF disingenuously rooting on FTR from commentary was a great touch for a heel character that clearly cares only about himself and his own best interests. He continued to put FTR over, desperate in his attempts to prove that everything was okay within the Pinnacle. FTR mocking the Smoking Guns was an LOL moment, especially with Billy at ringside. And Wardlow exploding into the arena, laying out security and getting dangerously close to MJF before being cut off by more guards was a great angle, and the crowd popped huge. So 3.25 to 3.5 for me on this. So
Okay.
Although I'm leaning more towards 3.25. So
Yeah.
right there with you. So set me up for the next match.
All right. It was Wheeler Yuta going one-on-one with the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. Danielson wins the match in roughly 10 minutes. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Another 3-star match. The crowd in South Carolina was totally behind Wheeler Yuta as he battled the best wrestler on the planet, unafraid of the challenge he presented. It was his unbridled determination that kept him in the bout as long as he was. Eventually, the ferocity of Bryan Danielson proved too much, but Yuta emerged stronger than he has ever been in AEW. The young star is growing in popularity with every passing week, and opportunities to have performances like this against the masterful Danielson will only help him get to where management believes he can go quicker. Key takeaways: William Regal took exception to the commentary team referring to Danielson as one of the greatest, showing the loyalty and admiration Regal has for the American Dragon. Yuta countering out of the cattle mutilation drew a huge ovation from the crowd, and a defiant Yuta spit in the face of Danielson, a great visual that preceded a vicious stomping to the face by his opponent. So this was another 3, maybe 3.25 for me, and MF. Another match where the outcome was not in doubt, but hey, give it up for Wheeler Yuta. I mean, this could have been an easy, delicious squash for Bryan, but no. Bryan, as he always does, went out of his way to make his opponent look like $1 million, and he damn sure did tonight.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, Wheeler Yuta is a good young talent. And I think now that he's broken away from the best friends and is doing his own thing, I think what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of respect and a lot of admiration for Wheeler Yuta. I think he definitely is getting the fans that definitely loves him, and I really think that he's really going to become a big star, especially in AEW. I think the best is yet to come, and you see it in Regal too. I think Regal, in a way, kind of put over Wheeler, saying that he's a good young lad. And he sees some good potential in him. I think there is a lot of potential for Wheeler Yuta. So I enjoyed it. I liked it. There's really nothing more to add there. So we will move on, as that was a 3-star match. And the next thing we had was, this was the inaugural match for the Owen Hart Cup. This was for the women, as the Bunny went one-on-one with new AEW superstar Toni Storm. That's right, a storm's a brewing. Toni Storm, now all elite. She wins the match in 8 minutes. This was a good match for Toni to start to sink her teeth into. Obviously, the crowd was very excited to see her. I know, Anthony, you were excited to see her. Michael Bullock, we'll know his down the line if he was excited. I was thoroughly. I kind of had a feeling Toni was on her way here, and sure enough, she is. So Toni makes it to AEW, and nice matchup going up against one of the good ones in AEW with the Bunny, Allie. We know her body of work, and yeah, a solid match. I say she wins it in roughly 7 minutes. And I give this about maybe 2.5 to 3. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3, and I posted it in our messenger chat. She's all elite, and yep, the photo, and shortly after those legendary AEW promotional photos, Toni Storm is indeed all elite. So, oh boy, what a steal for AEW. I mean, like MF and JR would always say, business is about to pick up in the women's division in AEW. There is no question about that. And on top of that, this was an Owen Hart tournament qualifier. So Toni Storm has qualified for the women's Owen Hart Cup. So that tournament starts in May when AEW Dynamite returns to the brand new home of the New York Islanders, that beautiful new UBS arena in the Belmont area. So let's see. Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament kicked off with the Bunnies squaring off against AEW's newest signee, Toni Storm. The Aussie entered to a thunderous ovation, but quickly found herself confronted with the very real challenge of a veteran opponent tired of being overlooked. And Toni Storm shook off Bunny's offensive, including a pair of super kicks that nearly ousted her from the tourney early to deliver Storm Zero for the win. The newcomer looked like a star, was treated like one, and the fans reacted to her as if she was a major signing. You cannot ask for a better, more effective first appearance than that. And the look on Toni Storm's face as the fans rained down on her with cheers was indicative of a woman overwhelmed by the positive reaction and ready to get back to wrestling at a high level. Storm's emotional thank you to the fans at ringside reflected a woman who needed that reception to remind her she was still a major player in a sport she probably lost some passion for under her previous employer, and the way that whole thing ended. Damn shame. Their loss. That's all I'm saying. So, but I think AEW is going to make her the star she should have been with the other company there. So, although she had some moments, winning, she did win the 2018 Mae Young Classic at that all-women's pay-per-view Evolution. We all remember that, beating Io Shirai for that. Former NXT UK women's champion on top of that. So she did have a couple of moments there, but once she got to the main roster, I mean, she was buried, criminally underutilized, and that was that. But she did get one shot at the big belt there, so I'm glad she had that. But here now, she's got a big opportunity. She's got a much bigger platform here, and I believe within the next year or two, I believe in my heart of hearts that it won't be long before we see her wear championship gold, whether it's the TBS championship or the big one, the women's title. I think within the next year, maybe 2 years down the line, MF, I do believe Toni Storm will be a future champion in AEW in that women's division. So not much more to say here. I agree with the rating, 2.5 to 3 stars. And hey, they could have easily had her in there against the Squash, but no, they put her in there against a legitimate opponent, a great opponent, like MF mentioned in the Bunny, Allie, a former Impact Knockout champion in her own right. So, and a major star in the independents as the Cherry Bomb. Y'all know that. So, no doubt about that. So 2.5 to 3, a win all around. And MF, now that Toni Storm is there, as you and JR always say, business is about to pick up the women's division.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. And remember, there's not one belt now, there's 2 belts in AEW. So she could easily go after the TNT title. She can go after the AEW Women's World title. And like you said, now that with the 2 belts opening it up, you could see Toni could go after either or, and definitely could see herself as a champion down the line. But she's still got a work in progress, because you got to earn your spot. Unlike with that other company, they'll just hand it to you. In AEW, the records actually do matter, and you gotta work your way to get to an AEW title match. So it's not just an easy thing. You're really gonna have to work your way and earn your right to a title shot nowadays. So, other than that, we go into the main event. Anthony, you're going to get to lead off on this one, as it was Andrade El Idolo going up against Darby Allin. Andrade El Idolo wins the match in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. And then after that, a whole bunch of chaos after the match was over.
Oh, we'll get into that in a bit. Another one of the fights of the night. This was another 3.25 to 3.5 star match. The match was a nice showcase for Andrade El Idolo, who had become close to an afterthought in AEW. A talented worker who was underserved by the creative in WWE. He came to this company in search of more opportunities. And it finally appears as though he has found his footing as the leader of a heel faction in the Andrade family office, feuding with top baby faces like Darby Allin, Sting, and the Hardys, who made the save to close the show. hopefully he can sustain it because El Idolo is a competitor every bit as capable of hanging in top matches against top talent as any other incoming star. And with the notable takeaways, Sting left, ensuring the match would be one-on-one, a sign of an honorable and legendary babyface. El Idolo firing up and screaming into the camera early on was the most emotion we have seen out of that character in months. And the pop for the Hardys never gets old. The roof blows off the place every single time, no matter, and it doesn't matter how obvious it is that they will be making an appearance. And like I said, 3.25 to 3.5 stars. And in my opinion, MF, and as I give it back to you, I got to be honest with you. I got to consider this the biggest win of Andrade's career, beating someone the caliber of a Darby Allin, a former TNT champion, and realistically, one of the brightest young talents in AEW. I mean, he and Jungle Boy, Jungle Boy and Sammy Guevara. And you can make an argument for MJF if you want to. I know those are the 4 pillars. I know there's 4 pillars they talk about. And I know Darby Allin's one of them. And I think I mentioned all 4 of them. But mark my words, Darby Allin, within the next couple of years or so, light years down the road, I easily see Darby Allin being a future world heavyweight champion in my book. But obviously not right now. Not with all these much bigger dogs running in the yard. But one of these days, I would say within the next few years, I believe that young man will be a champion. But for right now, 3.25, 3.5, and MF, as far as I'm concerned, the biggest win of Andrade El Idolo's AEW career. That's how I feel. Would you consider this his biggest win, MF? I would. 3.25, 3.5.
All right. 3.25 for me. No doubt about it. Total agreement with everything you just said. Overall review, this was at least 8.5. I don't think there's anything bad about this show. Everything was good, great to downright awesome. Nothing that really rode home or gave us a bigger boost than anything else. It was good. It was good to say the very least. So for me, yeah, 8.5. I got really nothing more to add. So yeah, Anthony, it is yours. You got the final say.
Yeah, 8.5 for me as well. I mean, we didn't really have any bad matches on this show here tonight. I mean, no, all the matches were solid to good to great, and we even had a good segment with the Jericho Appreciation Society and the returning Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz. Business has definitely picked up in that feud. No question about that. And, the eventual clash between those two factions, including whoever Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz get to back them up, presumably at Double or Nothing in Las Vegas, will be a hell of a brawl. And that was a great beatdown and further established the dominance of the heels. And Jericho, referring to himself as the revolutionary force in sports entertainment, was a great dig on the old opening to WWE TV. Eddie Kingston's selling of the whipping he received from Jericho's belt was probably very real, but he excelled at putting over the agony of the punishment at the hands of the Jericho Appreciation Society. And the heat for Jericho Appreciation Society was off the charts, proof that new faction is working. So, yeah, there's no question about it. I suppose 8.5 is the appropriate rating here. So, no, like I said, no bad matches. All the matches solid to good to great. I mean, by default, the worst fight would probably have to be Tony Storm and the Bunny, even though it was not remotely bad at all.
No, absolutely not.
It was just that the other matches were just that much better.
Yeah.
So, every match almost all the matches we rated were like almost 3.5 or higher. So, if you have a show like that, you're definitely doing something right. So, University of South Carolina Gamecocks, congratulations. You're going to be taking home some memories tonight. No question about that. So, well done. So, you'll definitely be remembering this show. So, 8.5, and MF, I give it to you. And I couldn't help but notice a little something you put in our Talking Wrestling TXN Messenger chat. I believe you're going to be channeling your inner big announcement, MF. What's your big announcement?
Well, the big announcement, guys, is that tomorrow night obviously is the big Talking Wrestling TXN, the debut. However, initially it was going to be on my channel, on Brave Fan 95 on this channel. However, I'm going to call audible here. Anthony, you're hosting. This is going to be your show. Traditionally, Thursday nights is your night. I'm passing the baton to you.
Oh, wow.
So, tomorrow night, it's going to be Talking Wrestling TXN as we preview Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania. It will be on the Tone 25, not on my channel. I will be doing the recaps of both nights. Night 1 and Night 2 of WrestleMania will be right here with me, as we always do all the recaps. However, because it's Thursday night, I kind of feel like it should be your night. So you're going to be leading us into WrestleMania, leading us into Stand and Deliver. So it's all you, kid. What time? 10:30?
I remember you had initially said 10, but whatever time works for you.
I say 10:30. We'll do 10:30. So
right.
10:30. As always, instead of using the TXN Sports World, that will be the time that we'll do it. So 10:30 tomorrow night, hosted by Anthony Florio, and like we said, Stand and Deliver, and we're also going to be previewing WrestleMania, the 2-night event. And then, like I said, after that it will be the two. There's nothing on Friday. Saturday after WrestleMania goes off the air, which it seems like it's going to be 11 o'clock Eastern time. We will recap night 1. And then, of course, at the end of WrestleMania night 2, which could be another 11:30, we'll recap that as well. So that's the breakdown. That's the big announcement. The Tone 25 will be taking over tomorrow night, as he will be doing Talking Wrestling TXN. And then from there, we're going to be going crazy because it'll be WrestleMania weekend. Tomorrow night, supposedly, rumors going around, they're going to reveal the stage tomorrow.
Can't wait.
They've been very tight-lipped. We haven't heard nothing up to this point. Literally nothing. Normally we had photos. Something would be leaked. We got nothing this time around. WWE has put us on lock this time around.
We've been doing a lot of investigative reporting. I know I have on my end, and I know MF has. I'm probably thinking maybe Bullock has, but no. I've been trying. I've been going up and down. Just putting it in my search engine, like every few hours.
Nothing is popped. No. So.
Oh.
So the only thing they leaked out today was a photo of the outside of the arena. They posted something outside of a big banner of WrestleMania at AT&T, and it had Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, on that marquee with the WrestleMania logo, and it says the biggest match in WrestleMania history.
Yep.
So, and that's all we got. We got nothing. Nobody.
But Dude Perfect. Dude Perfect.
Oh yeah.
We know who they are.
I do know Dude Perfect.
Yeah, these trick shot artists who have been featured. They're very big on social media. They have a massive cult following, and I know MF's a big fan of theirs. I am as well, and maybe not as much as MF is, but I definitely admire their handiwork, and they've been featured on all kinds of shows, most notably for me, Ridiculousness on MTV. So, I mean, they will be on hand sometime tomorrow to unveil what will be the setup for the 2-night stupendous WrestleMania 38 inside of Jerry Will. Second go around for that. The other being, of course, WrestleMania 32. But Dude Perfect. Let's see what you got. So can't wait for it. And I very much appreciate the honor, MF. And don't worry, you know me. I'm gonna bring the A game like I always do.
I'm not worried about that as well. I cannot wait to see it. Well, we're just gonna do it. So we got nothing more to say. We do got a little bit of a sports news cycle thing that I just wanted to report. The United States has gotten the golden ticket. They are going to the FIFA World Cup. They even though they lost tonight 2-0 to Costa Rica, they do qualify in the top three. Canada, Mexico, USA automatically going to the FIFA World Cup. They punched their ticket to Qatar. That will be this November. The FIFA World Cup is going to be because of the temperatures and everything else. So Qatar will be the site of the World Cup. The U.S. will be a part of it with Canada, with Mexico, and Costa Rica will now have to play New Zealand for the right to get into the World Cup. That match will happen in June. But the drawing for the World Cup is Friday morning at 11:30 Eastern. They will do the official drawing for the FIFA World Cup. So we'll find out at that point what happens to the Americans, where are they going to go, who are they going to face in the 32-team tournament. So with that said, that's it for tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow night on the Tone 25. So for Anthony Florio, I'm Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow night.